This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3654. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery. Our Men's Room. On tap today, it's an April Fool's Day inspired Bad Choice Friday. The return of Ted versus the FCC. Plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack, clack. Drag at the drag.
All right, here we go. Professor decides to call the cops when 2 students show up late for class. And yet another woman ends up in the hospital for refusing to pass gas. Really happened twice last week. A construction worker is let go from construction site after dropping his poop from a crane. In New Jersey, a cow walks up to a neighborhood mailbox and goes insane. And a shirtless man screams at a goat before peeing on a 9-year-old boy. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, even on an ordinarily boring and predictable day, at least one memorable thing will happen, right? It might be something as mundane as, I don't know, remembering you have leftovers in the fridge, or you saw an interesting pop-up ad. Then there's those really memorable things you didn't see coming, like, I don't know, the expectant parents in India who are preparing to give birth to twins. Now, they did not have twins. They ended up having one baby. The thing is, the one baby had 2 heads and 3 arms. Which, by the way, quick side question, if you have a kid who has 2 heads, do they each get their own name?
I don't know.
We'll get back to that. You ponder it. Then there's a guy in Zimbabwe. He had a memorable day when he was attacked by not 1, not 2, but 3 crocodiles. Possibly 4, but to be fair, he was so preoccupied by the first 3 that he's not quite certain about that. His plan that day was to just go fishing. In Massachusetts, firefighters, they had an interesting day when they got a call that a man needed help removing his hand from a meat grinder. And then there's a guy that went to the strip club. He promised his girlfriend he would not go to strip clubs anymore. Well, guess what? He was shocked when his girlfriend showed up as a dancer on the stage. Or the man who accidentally shot himself in the testicles. Not his plan, but that's what happened. Like we said, even on an ordinarily boring and predictable day, something memorable will happen. And that's what we want to talk about today. Good or bad, what did you not think would happen that day?
Be a part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the fellas, away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3654. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat on this Positive Friday. It is a Positive Friday. Absolutely it is. Going to be a good weekend as well. What do we got for you today? Of course, the exciting return of Ted versus the FCC. Man, oh man. Steve and I were up late last night.
So late.
Coming up with some rhymes, some tongue twisters for Ted. Lo and behold, not only did we get a listener submitted Ted versus the FCC, but we got one from a staff member here at KISW.
Well, what do you know?
Yeah. The Reverend Infuego from BJ and Miggs, along with his wife, submitting an unbelievable Ted versus the FCC. Ted, I want you to look at this. This is hot off of the email. Look at that. Look at that bad boy. Read that. That is, that one just came in. How about that?
I mean, it's nice they're thinking about me.
Yeah, it really is. You know,
He must have been up late last night, too.
He was up late for a morning show guy.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
It's a doozy. That is a fact.
It's a doozy,
Oh, wow.
Judge.
Yeah. Hot off the press.
I can't even believe he got that to us in time.
It was apparently stuck in my spam box. So we're whipping that one back out today.
A lot of things get stuck in their mouths.
Ted versus the
Spam
FCC.
box.
Sure, yeah, the old spam box. Salty.
Salty,
So
greasy,
so salty.
Spam box.
I'm still eating it. I don't care.
Don't knock it till you fry it.
That's right. Oh, Jesus. Also coming up today, as we do every Monday through Friday at 6, we'll head on over to the Odyssey app for the Men's Room Happy Hour. You get more Men's Room Monday through Friday at 6. All you need to do is download the Odyssey app. And hell, you know, one of the things, there are hundreds of channels on there. If you enjoy yacht rock, let's just say maybe you haven't heard any yacht rock music in a while. There's a whole channel there just simply with the yacht rock.
Yeah.
And nothing else. Also on there, you can download the Men's Room Daily Podcast if you happen to miss the show. You can listen to us live anywhere you go across this great United States of America. And of course, we also have the Men's Room Happy Hour channel. That only goes live at 6 o'clock. And from there, you get more Men's Room, but without the same rules that exist on these airwaves.
Yes.
So the language tends to be a little bit more colorful, the topics as well. Last night we played a little Dirty Big Dummy. That's always a good time. But today we're going to do the Men's Room Happy Hour and get you ready for the weekend with episode number 145. Speaking of the weekend, we will drink and toast into the weekend with a shot of the day. Then it's Bad Choice Friday time.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
Shame on. Today on Bad Choice Friday, it's an April Fool's Day inspired Bad Choice Friday featuring the Doobie Brothers.
I used to think he was saying Constantinople.
I don't know what he says.
I don't think,
But I still like it.
I can't identify any of those.
I know.
names, except for what a fool believes. This is Michael McDonald. You never know what the hell he's saying.
Nope.
But I love me some Michael McDonald era doobies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right. What a fool believes. Get it? April Fool. See? April Fool's Day.
You know, I'll be dead honest. I heard you guys talking about it in the office. I didn't put the two together.
Wow.
Yeah, April
Yeah.
Fools. You want a fool?
All
right.
Fool believes. Got me. And then, man, we go old school with Foghat. How you not like Foghat? Coming to Jalea Resort and Casino. Along with Molly Hatchet. Foghat and Fool for the City. Yeah, those are your choices on a Bad Choice Friday. Here's how you vote on a Bad Choice Friday. All you have to do is follow us on Twitter. At Men's Room Live, the poll is up there, and you get to vote. One of those two tunes coming up, an April Fool's Day inspired. It's Bad Choice Friday. And today on our question, and you know, you never know what's going to happen every day when you wake up. Yesterday was a crazy day, that's a fact.
Yes, it was. Top to bottom.
The show was just insane. I don't know what exactly happened there, but it was a strange day. Some days are stranger than others. Sometimes good things happen. Sometimes bad things happen. So our question, good or bad, what did you not think was going to happen that day? And we start with a story right here. A man in Texas, he was hospitalized after being in his hotel early Saturday morning. He accidentally shot himself in the testicles, according to police. Police and paramedics responded to the shooting at the St. Regis Houston Hotel about 9:30 on a Friday night. Police said the man was either unpacking a gun or pulling it from his pants when it went off. Police described the victim as a young man, but did not have information on his age. Paramedics took him to the hospital where he was listed in serious but stable condition. Messages left with the hotel management were not returned as of Saturday. Under a state law, by the way, passed last year by the Texas legislature and signed by the governor, hotels cannot prohibit guests from carrying firearms or storing them in their hotel room. So he was legally allowed to have it there. There was no problem with that. Problem was
He shot himself in the testicle.
he shot himself in the jimmy, which is not a good way to end the day.
or begin the day. There's no part of the day where I'm like, you know what, I'm okay with this.
Right.
I can take one.
Yeah, we talked about this before. If somebody came in and said, give you all your money, and they pointed the gun at the testicles, you'd be like, all right, man,
Instantly.
Here's my phone.
Instantly.
You know, if he walked up to you and did it on the street and pointed it at your chest or your face, you'd be like, really, man? You know, you're like,
right.
You're not going to shake me down, are you? You're really not going to shoot me. I only got like $20 in my pocket. You're not going to do that, right? But even if you had $20 in your pocket and you aimed at your Jimmy, you're like, here's my $20, man.
If I only had $20 and aiming at my Jimmy, somehow I'd give you $60.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we have the story of a guy and his girlfriend. Now, the way the story goes, the woman in this instance, she had a condition upon which she was trying to get her boyfriend to stop going to strip clubs. So the deal was, look, we can stay together, but, you know, you got to stop spending all your money. And
well, he's sleeping with chicks, too.
Yeah,
and he was open about that.
Yeah.
And she said, well, okay, but for our relationship to continue, basically he was like this. If I go to a strip club, my goal is to sleep with one of the strippers, and it's worked out for him. She goes, great.
Right.
Can you not go anymore? And he said, I won't.
So he...
That feels like a fair thing.
Okay, but
Yeah, she's not asking a big thing.
There's more to the story. It's like kind of a two-sided thing in my mind as far as what's acceptable behavior and what's not. But either way, the woman, they say, got the naked truth about her sleazy ex. Armed with a lacy pink thong and 7-inch platform heels, adorned in crystals, a mom of two named Missy Peterson shocked her boyfriend of 2 years by secretly placing a tracker on his car.
Mm-hmm.
And then following him to a strip club, and then hopping on stage to execute a devastatingly sexy stunt. I got on stage in a bra and thong that one of the strippers gave me, walked up to him and said, oh, you want a show? I'll give you a show. Peterson, by the way, is 40. She's a very attractive woman. She told the Post of her X-rated exploit, which ultimately earned her, believe it or not, $100 in tips.
Nice. I do like that part.
At the club. A TikTok testimonial detailing her saucy showcase has fetched over 3.9 million views.
Yeah, I bet it did.
She's a real estate agent from Laguna Beach, California. Went to tell the Post that her perpetually deceitful ex, whose name she chose not to reveal for privacy purposes, had previously admitted to frequenting strip clubs, getting lap dances, and then having sex with women. So in order to remain faithful, he'd promised to avoid gentlemen clubs altogether. But after the guy inexplicitly began disappearing for several days on end, Peterson sneakily installed a $100 GPS locator, the mat tracker, on his vehicle. And she ultimately discovered that he had been patronizing a local strip joint. When I saw that he was at the strip club, I grabbed a brown wig and the stripper shoes I keep in my closet, which is nice that she has those.
Oh, that she has specifically stripper shoes.
Mm-hmm. When I saw them at the strip club, I went on down. So after sweet-talking the bouncer into granting her entry, which I'm not sure why she would need to do that, maybe because she looked like a stripper, a crudely disguised Peterson, who'd never, by the way, ever been to a strip club before, explained her plight to a few of the dancers, who said they were more than happy to help her bust the boyfriend.
They're probably like, oh, Kevin? Yeah, he comes in here all the time. We sleep with him constantly.
They were like, oh, my God, you have to get on stage. It'll be hilarious, she recalled. Peterson said the woman invited her backstage, where they gave me an outfit to wear, a 20-minute tutorial on how to work the stage, and, of course, they gave me a pretty stiff drink. Well, after taking a swig of alcohol, Peterson, sporting pink and black lingerie, pranced on stage to a remixed Rihanna song and gave her ex, quote, the surprise.
I hope it was Pour It Up.
He was in absolute shock when he saw me. He was really pissed, she remembered. But I didn't care. I went to all the other guys, danced in front of them, and collected their money. Well, after seductively gyrating for one song, during which he remained clothed in her bra and panties, and refraining from giving lap dances or getting on the pole, Peterson proudly flipped the bird at her ex. I said, you'll never see me again, flipped him off and left, adding that the club owners offered her a job before she left. Which is...
Yeah, why not?
I mean, if you did that good of a job...
If people like you,
Sure, yeah.
She lives in Laguna Beach.
Right. She's not ugly.
Right.
That's all you need to
And
know.
a real estate.
And right.
Yeah.
So to be successful, it just seems like in that real estate world, there's a lot of glam shots.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
There
Of
is.
course.
I know a few real estate agents. They're all very attractive.
Yeah. I said, you'll never
There's
see
some
me
cute
again.
girls, too.
Oh, yeah. And even though she politely passed on the employment offer, Peterson enjoyed a massive sense of empowerment immediately after the ordeal. I felt great. I think it was a genius way to end things. She says that nothing that her ex has since begun calling her 10 times a day from blocked numbers in an attempt to reconcile. His annoying antics notwithstanding, she said, it felt so good to get that woman supporting women help from the professional dancers. And to the skeptics who doubt the validity of her breakup tale, she said, you're just miserable and jealous that you didn't come up with this idea yourself. So the only weird thing about this to me is...
but it's not about coming up with the idea. It's about looking good enough to pull it off. I'm sure a lot of people have had that idea, but, like, they're not going to let you walk on stage.
How many cars out there are running around with trackers on them, you wonder?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, dead serious.
It's not that hard anymore.
Well, yeah, you can order it. You attach it to the car, you're done. That's
but not only that, there's, like, the Apple things that I know a lot of women worried about, because, like, I mean, literally, you can just walk by and put it on. You don't even have to get, like, spy detective stuff anymore.
No, not at all.
So, those little tiny things, right?
Yeah, air something.
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
There was a story about it recently, and I was like, what in the hell is this?
Yeah, that's it.
Creepy as hell, though. And what else we got? We'll give you one more here real quick. A man in Zimbabwe spent several months in the hospital recovering from an attack by no less than 3 or 4 crocodiles at a fishing pond near his hometown. The incident took place in January as a man named Alexander arrived at the ponds, sewer ponds, by the way, to look for some redworms. He planned to use them as bait to catch bream, which is a popular fish in the area, after his wife told him that she had had enough of the tiger fish that he usually brought home.
Switch it up.
I'm tired of this tiger fish. Unfortunately, as soon as he approached the weed-covered banks of the pond, Alexander was attacked. He claims one crocodile tried to grab his left hand, but he instinctively pulled it away.
Ha!
Before another crocodile managed to bite his right hand.
I did not see you.
As soon as I avoided being grabbed by the left, I felt another croc grabbing me by the right hand. It pulled me into the water and twisted in one direction. At that point, I realized that my hand would break if I resisted, so I allowed my hand to go in the direction that it was twisted in. Right as he managed to regain his balance after being twisted like a piece of cloth, the amateur fisherman felt another crocodile come up and close its massive jaws around his Achilles tendon, ripping it to pieces. Only instead of giving in and allowing himself to become the meal, Alexander found the power to fight back. And what he claims was the secret to his miraculous escape from the jaws of crocodiles, he apparently saw an opening and stuck his hand into one of the reptile's mouth and punched it as much as possible.
Throat punch.
Causing water to flood the animal's stomach. He claims the animal drowned soon after, believe it or not.
Wait, what? Say this again. So he punched the back of the thing's throat.
Repeatedly. But he was in elbow deep.
Okay.
And that allowed water to go into the
right.
mouth and then into the stomach of said crocodile.
I hope he said something cool like amphibious my ass.
Just as he was wrestling with the crocodiles, Alexander's friends and acquaintances were pelting the crocodiles with large stones, eventually forcing them to swim away, leaving the man in a pool of his own blood. He was pulled out of the water and rushed to a hospital. In the days and months that passed, doctors cleaned all his deep wounds, stitched him up, and performed several surgeries, including skin grafting and reconstructing his Achilles tendon. He had at least 5 metallic plates surgically implanted to help fuse bones that broke, but only one of them will remain in his body permanently. He can no longer move his right arm at all, but the permanent platinum plate installed in his right shoulder keeps the arm firmly attached. The attack had caused it to move loosely in the shoulder socket. Doctors have also cautioned him not to move his right leg, as the Achilles tendon needs time to heal. I cannot work. I cannot fend for my family as I used to. I rely on well-wishers for survival now. I feel that a wheelchair will go a long way to ensure that I don't rely on my wife for everything, he said. Despite the hardships he has to overcome, he considers himself lucky to be alive. After all, how many people can say they survived a crocodile attack, let alone by 1 or 3 or 4 of the deadly reptiles? So our question today on this Positive Friday, good or bad, what did you not think was going to happen that day? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Danny. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, beginning of February, I met this girl at a bar, and we had gone out, but with, not like on a date, but with her friends or whatever, like one time. And then on Valentine's Day, she went to a crapping game with her friends, and I was supposed to meet up with her and her friend and grab a beer or whatever. I said, I'm just grabbing a beer or whatever. But her friend decided she was tired and went home, so we ended up going back to her place and sealing the deal. I totally was not expecting any of that.
And it was Valentine's Day.
And it was Valentine's Day.
All right. Well, good for you, man.
I bet you have a more positive opinion of Valentine's Day now.
Yeah.
Well, we've been dating, basically been dating since then now. So, she says it's our anniversary.
Well, that's awesome. Good for you, man. See a positive story on a positive Friday.
Damn right. Like, if you don't expect to get laid and you get laid, that's a good day.
Valentine's Day is a tough day, man. It's tough for guys.
Right.
I think just to be able to do the right thing, to have the right thing set up. Sometimes, like the last few years, it seemed to like fall on a Monday or a Tuesday.
Yeah, pretty well, but it's for a guy, I think that's a great day.
It's
like
not a bad
Valentine's
thing.
Day on a Monday or Tuesday, I'm like, yeah, it's just kind of a crappy night, babe, But you're right. I mean, because guys are on the hook for Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. Inevitably, we are the ones that are supposed to do something.
I'm not the best gift finder. I'm not really good at, I try to listen as much as I can throughout the year.
Do you?
I do as far as
I say that too.
When someone says that they're interested in something.
But here's the problem, Miles. If you're right, when someone says that, I will listen. The problem is if that's not the very beginning of the conversation and you insert what you're interested in maybe 5 minutes deep, there's a good chance I'm going to miss that because I've tuned out about the 3-minute mark, right?
Sure.
If we start the conversation with, I am interested in blah, I will remember that. Now, if you've been talking to me for 20 minutes already, tell me anything like I did not hear you.
You're not the best gift giver. You generally on the 13th you're running down to get a car.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We'll try to back this up. Like, I usually listen.
Well, no, I get it on the 14th. I get a day of.
Yeah,
most of the time.
Well, I found the 13th. I will do it on and we always remind each other Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, right? So,
but I found
Mother's
Day's coming up
because here's the money shot, right? This is what I have discovered after years and years and years of abject failure. If I get it the day before, I just have to remember to fill it out that night, and then, because everyone else is generally asleep by the time I go to bed, and I can just put it on the kitchen counter. Now, the win here is simply this. When I wake up on Valentine's Day morning, I pulled this off maybe the last 3 years, all right? Just how I'm awakened is a little different, because normally it's just like, get up! But on Valentine's Day, because she woke up to the card hours before I'm awake, right? Seriously, man, this goes a long way. So the thing is, I have gone to bed. It's not an exchange of cards per se. The card is there. She has read it. This is before the kids get up. You write whatever sappy stuff you're going to write in there. And so now, when you get woken up, it's like this very gentle, warm, kind-hearted kiss to the forehead.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, you need to get up. And I'm like, this is just because of the card. I'm telling you, that's the move. Because the problem is when I get it day and this is the problem. So my wife always gives me crap in the morning, right? It'd be different if she waited for me to get home from work. Then it doesn't look like I have been reminded. You know what I'm saying? Because I will get up on Valentine's Day or my birthday and like the card is already ready. So if you give me a Valentine's Day card and I don't have one at that moment and then I just come home with one, it's a bad look. So I realize just do it day and I won't do it a week before. I could be in the store that has Valentine's Day cards on February 1st, look at them. I still won't buy it then. Like, I'll wait. But February 13th, money shot. Leave it there. Champion.
Not only that, Ted, but I have witnessed a card being opened on Valentine's Day where it was still wet from the seal was because I basically went into the bathroom real quick, filled it all out, and here you go. And it wasn't even like a, it was just a, Still have my tongue juice on it.
Well, at least you got your buddy those white roses.
That means friendship.
That's the joke.
Yeah. I think they were, was it yellow or
It was
white?
yellow. You got her yellow.
Was it yellow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they look better than the red ones.
But again, we don't know.
There's a scale.
I know.
I don't know it, but I look it up before I buy roses.
I only found out after Miles went down in flames, what was it, like 15 years ago?
Oh,
like,
God.
dude, do not, just get red.
Yes.
I know, that's the thing. Just get red.
Right.
Just go
I was
red.
trying to do something special so it looked different, something unique. I didn't realize it. It's like there's like a breakup color or something.
Right. We didn't know.
Those are black. Yeah, these roses look like death.
Good or bad? What did you not think was going to happen that day? 206-421-ROCK.
KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
My question, good or bad? What did you not think was going to happen that day? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Chrissy. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitches! Blackjack and hookers!
Hola.
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
We're doing great. It's a positive Friday.
Positive.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Hey, I can't wait to meet you guys at the Roast of Steve Miggs. I'm going to be fangirling, like, ridiculously.
Oh, it's going to be a great night, man. We're going to have a good time.
Heck yeah. So I'm glad you guys asked this question. I was telling Mike I have an April Fool's inspired, what did I not expect to happen kind of story. So my friends and I, we were like 18. We were all like 18, 19, 20. We were sitting around our apartment one day smoking a bunch of weed on April Fool's Day and had nothing to do. So my friend Jim comes up with this crazy idea to, those wrapping paper tubes like the big long ones.
Yeah. Every kid uses it as a bullhorn and a telescope. Yeah.
Or a sword.
A sword, yes.
We decided to wrap it in tinfoil and disguise it as a steel pipe. So there was 3 of us, and we rode down to the grocery store, and I was supposed to be the one that was going to get out of the car. So I pretended to get out of the car and pretended like I was, allegedly walking to the store to grab my groceries. And so they jumped out of the car with this pretend steel pipe and hit me over the back of the head with it in front of a bunch of onlookers in broad daylight. And I played it really well. I fell to the ground like a sack of potatoes, and then they grabbed me and threw me back into the car and sped off. And people were like shocked and screaming, obviously in the parking lot and stuff. And so we get in the car, we get on the freeway, we like sped away, get on the freeway, we're all high-fiving. Yeah, that was so awesome. Idiots, right? So then we pull into a gas station, a couple exits down the freeway, and I noticed there was this car that kind of seemed to stay behind us the entire time. And I'm like, oh, great, man. I'm like, I don't know. Let's get off the freeway. Let's get out of here. Let's get back to, this is in Florida. I'm like, let's get back to Kissimmee and go back to your house. And we leave the gas station. This guy he never got out of his car. And the guys ran inside. They got some beer and stuff like that or whatever. And we get back on the freeway and this guy's following us. And I'm like, dude, somebody is following us for sure. Like, we need to get out of here. So we proceed to keep, like, speeding up. And pretty soon this guy disappears. And who pops up behind us? Blueberries. And we're like, OS. And so we pull off the road. And all of a sudden there's more cops and more cops and more cops. And we're pulled over. And all I hear is driver, over their little, like, microphone thing. Put your arms out of the window. And they're like, exit the vehicle. And so my buddy Jim gets out, and they put his belly on the pavement. Then passenger, get out of the vehicle. My other buddy gets out. He's belly down on the pavement. And then finally they get me out, belly down on the pavement. And we're all in handcuffs. And we're like, dude, it was just an April Fool's joke, man. It was just an April Fool's joke. So it went south real fast for us.
Yeah. So what is the punishment now? Yeah, you explained it's April Fool's. There's not a kidnapping, but I imagine they're still pissed off, right?
Oh, they were irate. We got hauled off to jail, and then we spent the night in jail, got a court date, came back, and we got charged with malicious mischief and mob action, whatever mob action is.
Mob action. I think that's what, anytime there's 3 or more people involved in something, I believe you can get that.
Or if you're eating gabagoo on a Sunday.
When you said mob action, I thought, hey, what you doing? Different mob.
Hey. So what's the punishment for what? Criminal mischief, you said?
Malicious mischief.
Malicious mischief.
Yep. The state, I don't know. Ask the state of Florida what that is.
Good times. Especially in Florida, that'd be like just a regular day.
You gotta say, the things I've seen in Florida that, even with cops around, they don't even bat an eye at. I understand if you think there's a kidnapping, sure. But once you realize, like, it's an April Fool's prank, everybody's fine. I know you're irritated, but I'd let it go. But I like the idea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I could see it, but, I mean,
look, I understand.
They're probably just more annoyed as people are calling, like, there's somebody just got bashed in the head.
With a steel pipe.
Good or bad, what did you not think was going to happen that day? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Daryl. Welcome to the men's room.
Yes, sir.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, so on Valentine's Day, me and my kid's mother couldn't find a place to get a table, so I wanted to go to this bar where I knew we could eat, and she didn't like that, so she went home. And I went out with the boys playing pool, and the bar was closing, the last bar we were at. And this tall redhead comes over, pushed me over on the pool table and jumps on me and starts sucking face. Ended up taking her to the hotel I was going to stay at anyway.
Wait, did you know this person, or she just rolled in drunk and decided that you're her mark?
She had been sitting there for a while, and I wasn't really even paying attention or nothing. It was just like, bam.
Were you still with the baby mama, or were you just taking her out for Valentine's Day?
Oh, no, she had already came up and sealed the deal by breaking the window out on my truck.
At the bar while you were there?
The first bar that I wanted to go eat at, because they had food there, steak and lobster. She just didn't want to go there. She was pissed.
So she broke out the window to your truck?
Yep.
Okay. Are you seeing any? Are you
right in front of the restaurant owner?
Are you seeing anyone?
Now it's a restaurant.
Are you seeing anyone now?
Not recently.
Okay, good.
Not recently.
I hope they're not as crazy as that. That doesn't sound like a fun time.
I mean, I've had plenty of arguments over where to go or where we don't want to go, but I never thought she's about to break the window out of the car.
Good or bad, what did you not think was going to happen that day? 206-421-ROCK.
All right, quick question. Anyone else think he's hammered? Do you think it's age? What do you think?
I think hammered.
You think it was hammered?
Yeah.
I know, and I'm sure
It's okay. It's Friday.
No, it's great, but when he said me and my Sid's mother, I'm like,
He made more
probably
sense.
means kids.
He made more sense than half the callers yesterday on Big Dummy.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Let's just put it that way.
he did, but it also kind of reminded me of that old skit on SNL. Where there's like two people left at the bar.
Oh, right, yeah. And they
I don't know
decided
if
to
I
hook
remember
up.
that.
It was Kate McKinnon.
The Kate McKinnon. I think she's done it a few times.
She was
I think
super
Louis C.K.
horny.
did it one time.
Yeah, like she was super horny all the time. And basically, she is a complete wreck. She's a drunk. They always made her look gross. Her hair was all mangy looking or whatever. But the bar's closing down, and it's always her and some dude, right? And the dude is more or less game, but she makes it worse the more she talks because she's kind of like, I just got my scabies taken care of.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah, she's drinking like something in milk.
it's just, but you can't take your eyes
You're right.
off it.
It's a Friday. He's already had it's not a big deal, but just that story and then the way he was talking, I was like, that's all I could see in my head.
On a 1 to 10 scale, all right? Now, based on the guy's story, his cadence, he's got pops rolling on Friday. On a 1 to 10 scale, if you had to guess, what do you think that redhead rates?
7.
You think so?
I do.
A 7?
Well, again,
Ted.
it was a Valentine's Day.
It's Valentine's Day.
People get real emotional on Valentine's
They
Day.
do, but
know.
typically
I
really
just-
attractive people already have a date on Valentine's Day, don't they?
As somebody who's fairly confident, a attractive person had sex with me once just out of spite. What? Like, it happened.
Do you
Why?
even
Because
care?
they were
You're just
mad at
like,
their
yeah.
ex-boyfriend?
Yes.
And they called you?
smile
Did you
on
see-
your
Did you
face
see them
is-
out?
I mean, it was fine, but yeah, it helped. Right, it helped. And I was like, yeah.
Did you know the person she used to date?
No.
Okay, so no harm, no
matter.
foul. When they weren't
No.
together anymore, right?
No.
All right. So, was this a really good-looking woman?
She was attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
But it was just a one offer. You could never.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm pretty sure it was just out of spite. Like, oh, the hell with it. I'll do the chubby guy from the radio.
All right, so you're thinking
So I'm thinking for this guy.
she's a 7. She's mad at whoever about whatever and decides,
Yeah.
man, I'm just going to. I hope you're right.
I'm going to pull his cue.
Because in my mind, I'm like, 3, maybe.
Well, that's the thing, too. He's just drunk. We don't know what he looks like.
That's true. He
Wasn't
might look
the
like
best
Brad Pitt.
But I mean, also, no story sounds awesome. And trust me, I am guilty of this. I have 3 beers. I sound like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So do we.
Curious.
So do we. Good or bad, what did you not think was going to happen that day? 206-421-ROCK.
It takes you guys a little longer.
Well, there is that new space dust in the
It
refrigerator.
depends on the beer.
So I'm assuming that space dust if it's in the refrigerator is stronger than regular space dust.
Yes. Actually, I was, yeah.
So if that's the case, it would only take probably 1 or 2. That beer knocks me on my ass.
Yeah, 3 space dust. Now, that said, I will drink 7 of them, but I do recognize by beer 3, like, you should stop. I'm not going to,
I
though.
told you, like, I have a buddy. He was a bartender at a place I went for years. And then we're at a festival. We're kind of joking. So we have another mutual friend. My other friend's like, how do you know when I'm hammered? And he's like, well, you start talking about this or that, or you get a little more animated. I go, what about me? And he just goes, I don't want to tell you. I go, what? He goes, seriously, after like the second or third beer, he goes, I could hear it in your voice. Like, damn it! Like, 3 beers isn't even that much.
Does it matter the beer? Or is it just you hit your 3 beers?
No,
And it's,
I mean, look, I don't think anybody listens to this show thinks I have the strongest grasp on speaking to begin with.
Well, yeah,
I mean, think about weed. When we used to do Weed Week, people always like, oh, he's hammered, I could tell. It's like, it was never me.
Right.
Yeah, but you have a pretty good tolerance for alcohol.
I do, but my mouth doesn't.
Right. So
That's
he
what
can
I'm
maintain,
saying.
but he sounds worse than
Right,
he
he
is.
wasn't trying to. He's like, no, you're not drunk. He's just like, I could tell that you had 2 or 3 beers. Like you're like the tongue gets real. So that's why I'm cutting this guy slack.
All right. Good or bad, what did you not think was going to happen that day? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Alex. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. What's going on, guys?
Oh, Positive Friday.
Positive Friday.
Good, man. Hey, I started listening to you guys last June when I was delivering packages for Amazon, and you guys keep me entertained all day, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, man.
And we appreciate you listening.
Or is this an April Fool's joke? It's like, I hate your ass.
Just kidding.
Oh, no, man. I'm serious.
Okay.
Anyway, so a few years ago, I dated a girl for a little bit, for like a year. And so we broke up, and I told my best friend about it. Best friend that I've known for like my whole life, pretty much since I was a kid. And so, yeah, I told him that we broke up. And then, I went on a date with a girl that I met from Tinder maybe like a couple days after we broke up. And so I get a call, and it's from my friend, and which I thought. And so I picked up while I'm on the date with this girl, and I'm like, hey, what do you want? And it ended up being my ex-girlfriend.
Wait, calling from his phone?
Yes. And they had never met or seen or anything that I was aware of. So I'm guessing that like maybe he like hit her up or something after we broke up or something. Well, and so like I'm like, what? And she's all, I'm like, what are you doing with my friend? And she's all, we're having sex. And then she hung up.
Oh, yeah. Oh man.
Did you tell the girl you're on a date with? Yeah, that was my ex-girlfriend calling me to let me know that she was having sex with my best friend.
I was just like in shock, man. So like I told my date I have to go take care of something right now. I was like completely shocked and kind of upset about it. And so ironically, the restaurant that me and this girl were at were like right down the street from my friend's house. And so I drove to my friend's house, and then there they were in her car parked in front of his house. He's in the passenger seat, and she's in the driver's seat. And so, like, I opened the driver's seat door, and I just, like, plunge in there, and I start hitting him in the face. And so, like, he's like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. And so, like, we eventually get out of the car, and I keep hitting him. And then he's like, I'm going to call the cops, man, get out of here. And then I'm like, oh shoot. And so, like, I'm like, all right. And then I start looking for my keys. And my ex-girlfriend, I guess my keys had fallen out of my pocket during that whole thing. And she threw them in, like, the nearest gutter. So now I'm just stuck there. Yeah, so it was pretty gnarly.
So that would be considered a bad day, that you did not think that would happen that day?
Well, I never saw her again. I tried, like, texting her and yelling at her about it and stuff like that. And she just,
I think at that point in time, you're already broken up. Right. Who you should be mad at is your friend.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Not her. I mean, you didn't want to be with her. You guys broke up for a reason, but, that's pretty fresh.
Well, shockingly, me and my friend ended up making up. And then, he ended up, like, passing away, like, last year. But, yeah,
well, that's a good thing that you made up.
He was a friend of mine from when I was little, so, I mean, it's kind of hard to, like, let go of a friendship like that. But it was... So, yeah, that was pretty gnarly. I thought you guys would enjoy that.
I think technically...
Enjoy is a strong word. But
technically, the right protocol is, even if it'd been 2 or 3 months since somebody broke up with somebody, and you knew that person used to date your friend, I think I'd be that type of person in that scenario that would say, hey, man, would you mind if I asked your ex-girlfriend out? Would that bother you? If that, I've never had that situation before.
I mean, that's kind of code.
Yeah, I think with all of my exes...
it's not crazy that it would happen, but I don't think it's that... I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Hell, I mean...
It's like asking your fiance, your girlfriend's father for permission to marry your daughter. I mean, it's just something you do. Mm-hmm. Right? For sure. But now that said, just as I go through my ex-Rolodex, so to speak, I'd be like, because we're friends, look, I don't mind, but suit yourself.
Good luck.
Because you're asking me, do you mind if you eat that french fry that's been sitting in the passenger seat of your car? Like, I don't mind. But as friends, I give you a warning. But then would you want the warnings if you're pining after
your
buddy's
buddy's
house,
though. Do me a favor. Just let me know how I taste when you're done.
You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like...
Well, the warnings wouldn't matter.
Not in that.
Because if you're already to the point you're like, man, I really want to go out with her. I got to ask her. I got to tell her.
You know what? You're right.
Then at that point, I could be like, oh, this and that.
She's a racist and a serial killer. Yeah, I don't care.
And I feel like racist is a decent one. Like, I would say that to somebody. But also, like...
Didn't you date a racist? Like, you knew she may have had some opinions.
Not right away.
Dating's a strong word.
Not right away, though.
No.
So you didn't know this going in?
No, it's not like she was...
You didn't meet at a KKK rally.
I was just there for catering.
I have never been to a KKK rally. I don't know why I feel the need to put that out there, but I do.
I don't know anybody who's ever been to a KKK rally.
I missed one by just an hour once.
I drove by one as a kid and it freaked me out.
Yeah, I wasn't invited per se. I didn't know what was going on. I got there and everyone's like looking at me weird. Came out, the rally had already ended, all right, but they had blocked off. This is Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We're helping my buddies.
I was in Pennsylvania when I saw the one I saw.
It's huge there, man. And but we were helping them move a bunch of books up from Baltimore. They were retiring. They're going to open a used bookstore literally on Main Street of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And it's actually Main Street. Anyway, on our way up there, we're driving up 95. We had a U-Haul with all these books in the back. The U-Haul overheats, so we had to pull over to the side of the road. We had to wait about 40 minutes for the thing to cool down, about another 15 minutes before we could get it started again. It turns out that worked in our favor. Because we get to Lancaster, we're tracking down this address, and there's still like yellow police tape up. There's a few people milling around, and when we get out of the truck, everyone keeps looking at me. And I think they're looking at us, but they're looking at me. And this cop walks up to me and he goes, "Are you being serious right now?" I'm like, "Bro, I don't even know what you're talking about." He goes, "You just missed the Klan rally." I was like, "I'm glad I did." And I told him, man, if this goddamn truck had not have broken down on the way up here, we'd have driven right into the middle of it. That would have been a unique experience.
So no electricity, but they got Klan rally.
But
the Amish live there.
Yeah.
Right, that's it.
Good or bad, what did you not think was going to happen that day? 206-421-ROCK.